Welcome back to DK Sports Radio. You're listening to the Carter Six Pack. Hello, DK Sports Radio listeners. I am your host, Christopher Carter, NFL analyst here at DKPittsburghSports.com. Today on the Carter Six Pack, as you know, this show, we go over the top six of a specific topic. We count them down or count them through. Sometimes we're not doing top six in a particular order, but today we are, because today we are counting the top six rookie debuts in Pittsburgh Steelers history. Yes, we're going back throughout the years. This is going all the way back to the start of the Chuck Noll era, because anytime before the Chuck Noll era, Steelers fans tend to not care about. So we're going to focus on rookies since that time. Let's get started with number six.
Number six.
Number six is current Steelers player. You get 2 seconds. 1, 2. It's Marquise Pouncey, the all-pro center for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right now, Marquise Pouncey is making a name. He's been All-Pro several times, Pro Bowl several times. He's the leader of the Steelers' offensive line for many years. He's kind of battling with David DeCastro right now for it. But in 2010, he was a rookie, and he exploded onto the scene in the NFL. His athleticism allowed him to pull as a center, which is something the Steelers really hadn't had since the Dermontti Dawson days. And Dermontti Dawson, he could pull as a center. He could crush people out in space. Ask the New England Patriots about that when Cordell Stewart took off on him, thanks to Dermontti Dawson. But I digress. Back to Pouncey. Pouncey was an All-Pro. He was a Pro Bowler that year. He was All-Pro the next year. But he was a huge reason that the Steelers rose back from being a non-playoff team in 2009 and pushing them forward to being a Super Bowl. Making a Super Bowl appearance, an AFC champion in 2010. Unfortunately for the Steelers, they lost Marquise Pouncey in the AFC Championship game against the Jets due to a crazy sort of ankle injury in the AFC Championship game. They ended up winning that game, but in the Super Bowl, you saw the value of Marquise Pouncey because early on, the Green Bay Packers built a lead, much thanks to a pass rush that hit BenRoethlisberger's arm when he was throwing a bomb to Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace had beat his man going down the sideline, but because BenRoethlisberger's arm was hit, because a rusher up the middle pushed back the backup center, it hit Roethlisberger's arm, the ball floated, and Charles Woodson intercepted and returned it for a touchdown. I forget if it was Woodson, but I think it was. But either way, it led to an interception return for a touchdown. The Steelers lost that game by a single possession. That could have been the flip right there. If Roethlisberger gets that ball out to Mike Wallace like he had all season, and he scores, that's a 14-point swing, and maybe they win a Super Bowl. But Marquise Pouncey was a huge reason for the Steelers' resurgence in 2010.
Number five.
Coming in at number 5, an all-time Steelers legend, and the only member on this list to win a Super Bowl in their rookie season, it's Jack Lambert. Now, Jack Lambert burst onto the scene with the greatest draft class in the history of a single team in any sport. In 1974, Jack Lambert was the second-round pick. You had Lynn Swann at 1. You had John Stallworth at 4. Mike Webster at I think at 5, and then they still picked up Donnie Shell as an undrafted free agent after the draft was over. But Lambert burst onto the scene. He had 2 interceptions, forced a fumble, recovered a fumble, and of course led the Steel Curtain defense. He wasn't really a leader per se, but he was a huge part of them making the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl, and them shutting down Frank and Tarkington and that Vikings offense in Super Bowl IX in 1974. Jack Lambert absolutely deserves it. He went on to be arguably the greatest inside or middle linebacker. He was a middle linebacker, not an inside, because he played 4-3. But he was arguably the best middle linebacker in the history of the game, right up there with Ray Lewis, Mike Singletary, and several other guys that make that list. But you got to look at Jack Lambert and what he was able to do. Yes, he did have a great supporting cast around him, but he quickly put himself on the map as a gritty player and as a legendary player for the Steelers, thanks to his effort as a rookie.
Number 4.
Number 4 is another current Steeler on the list, and it's going to be not Ben Roethlisberger. It's LeVeon Bell. LeVeon Bell, you're thinking, like, what did he do? The Steelers didn't make the playoffs. Yes, LeVeon Bell was drafted in the second round of 2013, right behind Jarvis Jones. And in doing that, he missed the first 3 games of the season, and the Steelers lost their first 4 games of that season. But when he came in, he had 1,259 total yards that season in just 13 games. About 860 of them came on the ground. 399 of them came through the air. He had 8 total rushing touchdowns. Really brought a resurgence to the running back position that year because the Steelers had been hurting. If you remember in 2012, they were using running back by committee, and it just wasn't working out for the team. But yeah, so LeVeon Bell, although the Steelers didn't make the playoffs, and in fact, he's one of only 2 players on this list whose rookie seasons they did not make the playoffs that year. We'll get to the other one later, but LeVeon Bell absolutely deserves a nod because he went ballistic in that year. And fun fact, LeVeon Bell only fumbled once that season, and that was the only fumble he had in his first 3 years in the NFL.
Number 3.
Number 3 is the final current Steelers on the list, and yes, we're finally getting to the one you've been waiting to hear, BenRoethlisberger. BenRoethlisberger didn't have a particularly elite numbers season, but he won 14 starts in a row. He came in because the Steelers, he was drafted in the top 15. I believe he was the 11th overall pick of his draft, and he came in because Tommy Maddox got hurt in the second game of the season against the Baltimore Ravens. Saw some time against the Ravens, but then when Ben Roethlisberger got going, the Steelers got on a roll. They won 13 straight games, finished the season 15-1, or finished the regular season 15-1. Well, his numbers weren't spectacular. He only had 2,621 yards, 17 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. He often did just enough. He had a quarterback rating of 98.1 back then, and he had a completion percentage of 66.4. That was the highest completion percentage he would have until 2009. And fun fact, he's only eclipsed that about 2 or 3 more times in his career. No, in fact, I'm sorry, just 3 more times in his career, including that time in 2009. He eclipsed that with 67.1% in 2014 and 68% in 2015. But that completion percentage is the 4th highest in his career in his rookie year. Though they didn't win the Super Bowl, they fell short by losing to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. That 15-1 season will forever be remembered as the most consecutive wins by a rookie quarterback in an NFL season.
Number 2.
Number 2, Steelers legend, didn't win the Super Bowl that year, but had arguably the greatest play in NFL history. That's Franco Harris in 1972 as a rookie. As a rookie, he had 1,055 yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown, and made the Pro Bowl that year. That was a spectacular season for Franco Harris. In fact, it was his record for all-purpose yards as a rookie that LeVeon Bell broke in 2013 when he got there. But Franco Harris not only was it the numbers that were really important, but it was also the fact that he brought something to the offense that hadn't been there. Joe Green said the Steelers didn't win before Franco and didn't win after when he left the team for the Seattle Seahawks in free agency. Oh, was that sad? All he had to do was get about 80 more yards, and he would have eclipsed Jim Brown. But yeah, Franco Harris had a spectacular season, and it didn't end on the high note because they ended up losing to the 1972 Dolphins, who went to be undefeated and all that. But that was the year of the Immaculate Reception. So not only did he have a record-setting year for the Steelers in 1972, and not only did he get them to their first playoff appearance in a while, but he was able to get them their first playoff win in team history. With the Immaculate Reception against the Oakland Raiders. Everyone remembers that play. If you've been to the Steelers Airport, you might not the Steelers Airport. Listen to me, I'm calling it the Steelers Airport, but Pittsburgh International Airport. You've of course seen the Franco Harris statue. He's a Pittsburgh legend forever, and that was the year that he made it happen.
It's time to cash in on non-stop sports action with MyBookie.ag. They have in-game live betting on nearly every sporting event, plus MyBookie.ag will match your deposit with a bonus up to 100%. With decades of expertise and no-hassle payouts, you'll experience the greatest customer service in the business, guaranteed. Use promo code DKRadio to activate your bonus of up to 100%. Call 844-900-BETS or visit MyBookie.ag to open an account. Sign up today.
Miller Lite is the original light beer, and we'll always brew it to have more taste, with only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs. Because we believe that if you compromise on taste, you can taste the compromise. Miller Lite. Hold true.
Great beer, great responsibility. 2018 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Average analysis, 12 fluid ounces. Less than 1 gram protein, 0 grams fat.
What I want from my public accounting firm is big ideas.
But I don't want to lose the personal attention.
My company needs global capabilities.
From a firm with local ownership.
And I want to work with industry experts.
Who take the time to understand my unique challenges. And that's what sets Schneider Downs apart. Expertise for the most complex business issues, with the service you need every day. To learn how our big thinking with a personal focus can help your company, visit schneiderdowns.com.
If you're one of the thousands of Western Pennsylvanians who love to get outdoors, then you need to check out this amazing new website, stepoutside.org. Hi, I'm Dan Kovacevic of DK Sports Radio. I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh. I know about the outdoor life that's available to all of us in Western Pennsylvania. Learn where, when, and how you can go camping, hiking, hunting, take part in power sports, shooting sports, water sports in your local community, across our region, across the country at stepoutside.org.
In Pittsburgh, we bleed black and gold and love our city. Born in Pittsburgh and now celebrating 130 years in business, Henny Jewelers is proud to be your premier jewelry store. Whether it's choosing that watch you've always wanted or you're searching for the ring that was made for her, trust Henny Jewelers. Visit our store on Walnut Street in Shadyside to see our extensive inventory of designer engagement rings, watches, and one-of-a-kind jewelry. For more, go to hennyjewelers.com and follow on social.
Embarrassed by that stained carpet in your office? Tired of looking at your dull, dirty floor? My Floor Needs is here to fix that. With years of experience and 24/7 service, My Floor Needs offers stripping and waxing, carpet, tile, grout, and concrete cleaning, as well as polishing and buffing services. Call 888-67-MY-FLOOR or email info@myfloorneeds.com for a free estimate and get your floors looking like new again. Whatever your floor needs, call 888-67-MY-FLOOR.
Does your company ever miss its sales goals or struggle getting new business?
Is it tough to hire or to give reps the right tools?
Hi, I'm Dan, and I started Engaged Prospect right here in Pittsburgh to help companies like yours.
And I'm Sam. We're helping companies hit sales goals and grow their businesses.
Think of us as your inside sales team.
Our clients are experts in their fields. We're experts in inside sales.
Give us a call today at 412-715-5151.
Or visit us online at engagedprospect.com/DK.
It's been 50 years since the Summer of Love, but if you're not performing as well as you'd like, check out NEDforless.com. I'm Eric Cushy of Curtis Pharmacy. Don't pay premium prices for the little blue pill. So Denafil, the same active ingredient as in Viagra, costs 80% less. NEDforless.com. All we need is your physician's name. We do the rest. Free shipping, too. NDDforless.com. Curtis Pharmacy, Western PA's Better Way Pharmacy. CurtisPharmacy.com.
All right, we're back on the show here at the Carter Six Pack on DK Sports Radio. I'm Chris Carter, NFL analyst here at DKPittsburghSports.com. We've been counting down the top 6 Steelers rookie debuts. Now, we're not talking about how they panned out over the course of their careers. We're just talking about that rookie season. If they were drafted by the Steelers, how did they do in that year? And before we get to our recap of all the picks, let's give some honorable mentions real quick. We're going to just do 2. And just to be fair, we'll name a few just quickly. Heath Miller, of course, they won the Super Bowl his rookie year. I think he had 6 touchdowns and he was a huge part of them upsetting the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis in 2005. But if you're going to look at some rookie debuts, you got to look at the sack man. Kendrell Bell, an inside linebacker, had 9 sacks, 70 tackles, exploded onto the scene, was a Pro Bowler his rookie year in 2001. And then disappeared. He only played 12 games the next year, and then the following year, in 2003, he did play every single game, but he really wasn't a game changer anymore. He didn't have those huge sacks. Then eventually fell off the map, went to the Chiefs, and really didn't do much else with his career. Other guys, Louis Lips, that might be the other one. He also made the Pro Bowl in his rookie year. Funny enough, Kendrell Bell's only Pro Bowl season was his rookie year. Louis Lips, his only 2 Pro Bowl seasons were his first 2 years, but Louis Lips had 860 yards receiving, had 10 touchdowns in his rookie year. 9 receiving, one rushing. You could also say Juju Smith-Schuster might be on the mix because he had about 960 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns. He exploded onto the scene. But with all these other guys on the list, you have to think, the importance and what they did. And like people like Franco Harris, you got to give a nod to them. But we're going to get to the only all-pro rookie premier on this list just at number 1. But before we do, let's get back to the countdown. Number 6, we said Marquise Pouncey. The Steelers made the Super Bowl his rookie year. He made a Pro Bowl. Although when they lost him, they lost the Super Bowl. Number 5 was Jack Lambert. They won the Super Bowl in 1974 with his 2 interceptions. He had a fumble forced and recovered. Number 4 was LeVeon Bell with his 1,259 all-purpose yards, 8 touchdowns in just 13 games as a rookie, revitalized the running back position for the Steelers that they've been missing since the departure of Willie Parker. Number 3 was BenRoethlisberger with his 14-1 season. Started the season 14-0, 13 wins in the regular season, 1 playoff victory. Ultimately he would have been higher if his stats were higher. But number 2, Franco Harris. In 1972, had over 1,000 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns on the ground, 1 receiving touchdown, and of course he had the immaculate reception, which immortalized him in Pittsburgh Steelers history, even without the 4 Super Bowl rings and all the other the crazy stuff that he did. Also made the Pro Bowl. But let's get to our top pick.
Number 1.
Number 1 is the face of the franchise, the guy that started it all. Mean Joe Green. Now you're thinking, Chris, what happened? He didn't have all these stats. Well, partially it's because stats weren't a big thing in 1969. But when Mean Joe Green was drafted by the Steelers in the first round and Chuck Noll took him, Chuck Noll knew that he got a game changer. But not only did he know it, everyone else learned it that season because he was put first-team All-Pro as a nose tackle in the NFL, and he was just destroying people on a team that only won 1 game. That's how good Joe Green was, is that he was recognized across the league. Like, that guy is bad, and I mean like bad, not like bad and bad, like Jarvis Jones bad, but bad is like that's one bad dude, and I would not mess with him, and no one wanted to mess with Joe Green in 1969. He made Pro Bowl, he made first-team All-Pro, and eventually he would be the cornerstone of the defense that kept the steel, that built the steel curtain, and then eventually in 1972 when they got Franco Harris, they could lean on that defense to win games, and in 1974 they get Lynn Swann, John Stallworth, Jack Lambert, Mike Webster, though Webster didn't play in 74, and Donnie Shell, and he wouldn't impact until after Glenn Edwards left, but he was the impact player that changed everything in those years. And without Joe Green, there's no steel curtain, and there's no 4 Super Bowls in 6 years, and his rookie debut set the tone for what the Steelers would become in the 70s, even though it was 1969. So there you have it. There's your Carter's 6-pack, my top 6 rookies. If you disagree with my list, go on, challenge me, talk to me. I talk back on Twitter. You can hit me up on Twitter at Carter Critiques. I'm always available. I'm always trying to talk with subscribers and fans of the game. But those are my top 6 guys. Who do you think? Did I leave off the list? Did I disrespect somebody? Do you feel that somebody else deserved the nod? I think there were some people that I left off the list, but there's some people I leave off just to see if you guys are paying attention, because I run Carter's Classroom and I love to teach people something. But sometimes I also like to quiz y'all. So thanks for listening to Carter's 6-pack. Be sure to stay tuned to DK Sports Radio because we have a lot of great content coming up for you.